No free rides.
My fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, as most of you probably know, I grew up in a body shop with all the access that any young man could want to any kind of automobile improvement equipment and knowledge and technology. As I was growing up, of course, like any other kid working for their dad, I started out sweeping floors and picking up garbage, and some of the employees chewed. I picked up Bondo shavings with chew in them. That was their spit buckets. I was the guy that cleaned that up, hauled scrap to the scrap dumpster and all that good stuff. It's a big body shop, a lot of employees, and so I had access to a lot of people to show me how to do things that most kids wouldn't have access to. But when I was growing up, my dad always said, I'm not ever going to buy you a car. You go on your own when it comes time to buy you first vehicle. So he allowed me to work at probably a slave labor rate in the shop I was making $1.25 an hour. At 12 or 13 years old, I was pretty capable as far as working on cars. I did alignments, I'd move cars around the shop. Me and my brother did paint prep work, which was pretty labor intensive. It's a lot of sanding, a lot of blocking, a lot of wet sanding. We stayed in the sun, pruned up from wet sanding all day. So I got pretty good working on cars, but at about 14, early 14s, he said, I've got a car for you. And I didn't know what it was, I had no clue. And I looked at my mom and she just smiled like she knew what was going on. And I said, what do you got? He said, I bought an old Camaro from Woody Barber. Mr. Barber was an old insurance adjuster that used to come around the shop. Nice old dude. Always had a funny smell, but he was a nice guy. And I said, well, where is it? He says, next door. So we had a big body shop that took about a half a block in Gulfport, and right next door was a salvage yard that took the rest of the block. I said, can I go see it? He said, yeah. He said, you're going to have to pay Mr. Barber for it. That was $200. I said, I got $200. He said, okay. And I was excited. My mom was excited. My dad's excited to see me excited. And we all walked next door. And my mom's kind of ahead of me because she wants to see the look on my face. Way before cell phones, way before the catch the moment. But I could see, when I see this heap before me, it's this ugly, ugly blue Bondo patches everywhere, mud grips, snow tires on the back. We're in South Mississippi. It's got snow tires with studs in them. It's got wire hubcaps, no engine in it, and the transmission is in the trunk. And all my joy and elation just fell to the ground, and so did my mom's, because she just saw the look on my face, and I saw her face go like I had been really done wrong. I went and sat in it and just kind of got a feel for the car. It was a 1976 Camaro, probably the ugliest body style they ever made. My dad, being a super nerd, thought it was a cool car, and I didn't want to disappoint him because he had gone to the trouble of finding me a Camaro, or what used to be a Camaro. So for the next 10 months, with the help of several of his employees, I put this thing together and I polished this turd to a fine shine. We put a red, white, and blue paint job on it. I striped out a flame paint job on it. Our painter painted the flames on it. And it really turned out to be a nice car. Won Best in Show at Gulfport Drag Strip a couple times at 15 years old. And it had a straight six that went with it when I got it, which ran okay, but it's a 6-cylinder. You don't have a 6-cylinder in a Camaro. That's awful. I bought a 350 Chevrolet engine from a guy that I went to school with. He was in Botech. He said, I've got a 350 that was going in my dad's race car. I'll sell it to you for $200. I don't, 200 was the magic number then, I guess. I said, all right, I'll take it. So I got it, put it in, got it running. We took it to the dirt track. Used to be up on Highway 67 in North Biloxi. Uncapped headers. I didn't take it to race it, but between races, I'm pulling through the parking lot with uncapped headers, blah, 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 no hood on. The whole stand, just getting up, turning around, seeing whose race car has made it around to the parking lot. We dogged that thing for 2 weeks until I finally figured out that block had a crack in it between freeze plugs. It had frozen and busted. I ended up buying another engine out of a burned Z28, put that in it, ran it for a little while, started drag racing it. And from the time we were in our mid-15s, me and my brother were both drag racing. He also bought his first car, El Camino, turned it into a race car. And I kind of followed suit in that path with my kids. I made them buy their own cars. My daughters both shared their first car. They bought a total out Cavalier. I rebuilt it for them. My son bought a car from the Harrison County Impound. We rebuilt it. And that's kind of the path we've taken. So in my family, there's no free rides. Everybody buys their own vehicle, and you're going to work on it.